We're going to tell you a story today. It's a deeply unsettling one.
It really is. It takes some dark turns.
Imagine this. It's August 30th, 2011. A woman, Jennifer Webb, very pregnant, 8 months, 2 weeks along, is found.
Found in her car. And it's parked way out at the end of this dead-end street, very isolated.
And what the police find first,
Yeah.
it's chilling.
It looks like she died by hanging. There's an electrical cord around her neck, and it's attached somehow to the roof rack of her car.
And almost right away, they find something else inside her purse.
A suicide note.
So on the surface, maybe a tragic suicide, but things got complicated fast.
Very fast. Two big questions immediately come up. Was it really suicide, or was it something else entirely?
And critically, who was the father of her unborn baby boy? That's what we're exploring today.
So let's talk about Jennifer Webb. She was 32, living in Buena Vista, Michigan.
And by all accounts, just a really cheerful person, very optimistic.
Especially about the baby. She was so excited. She'd already named him Braxton.
Now, her relationship status. She was single at the time, wasn't dating anyone.
But she was pregnant. The father, it turns out, was a friend, someone she'd known for about 10 years.
Okay, but he was married?
Married, but separated at the time. And Jennifer, she was ready to be a single mom. She was really preparing for it.
Buying a new house, getting everything ready for Braxton.
Exactly. She was really embracing it.
So that last day, August 30th, who saw her last?
That would be her friend, Andrea Peoples. Andrea had just had twins, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Jennifer went to visit her, and she mentioned to Andrea that she had a meeting planned for later that evening.
A meeting with the baby's father.
Yes, but she made it clear it wasn't about, getting married or anything like that.
Just practical stuff.
Pretty much. She just wanted him to sign the birth certificate for Braxton.
And after that visit with Andrea.
That was it. Andrea was the last friend known to see her alive.
And just a couple of hours later, her car is found. End of that lonely road near some tall grass.
And she's inside, in the driver's seat, with that electrical cord around her neck attached to the roof rack.
Officer Kenneth Blue is the first one there.
Right, followed pretty quickly by another officer, Tim Passmore.
And Officer Blue, he finds the note.
Yeah, folded up inside her wallet.
And this note, it says the father is some guy named Chris.
Right, someone she supposedly met just once at a bar. The note talks about regret, feeling like a failure, that sort of thing.
And then Officer Blue says something a bit strange.
He does. He says he actually recognizes Jennifer from a local bar.
Okay, so they secure the scene. Officer Blue is told to take photos. The scene, the body, the car, before anything gets moved. Standard procedure, you'd think.
Right. But when Jennifer's family gets the news, suicide, they just don't buy it.
Especially her mother, Joan Webb.
Joan was adamant, absolutely certain Jennifer would never, ever do that.
And she immediately had problems with the note.
Big problems. First, it was typed. Joan said Jennifer always wrote letters by hand. Always.
The style wasn't right either.
No, the language, the phrasing, it just didn't sound like Jennifer. And most importantly, Jennifer was thrilled about having Braxton. Over the moon.
And then the family drops a bombshell.
A huge one. They tell investigators the father wasn't some random guy named Chris.
It was Officer Kenneth Blue.
The very first officer on the scene. The one who found the note. The one who took the initial photos.
Wow, okay, that changes everything.
Completely. Massive conflict of interest, obviously. So the local PD steps back.
And the Michigan State Police take over.
Yes, led by Detective Sergeant Anna Ofiara. But they're already facing an uphill battle.
Because the scene wasn't preserved properly.
Exactly. The car had been moved. Jennifer's body had been moved. That initial crucial examination didn't happen the way it should have.
So what did they have to work with?
Mostly those photos Officer Blue took. And they weren't very detailed. Not good enough for a thorough forensic analysis.
So Sergeant Ofiara brings in help.
Yes, forensic experts. Dr. Gregory Grabowski and Dr. Joyce DeJong.
But despite the compromised scene, the state police did find some things.
They did. They searched the area again more thoroughly. They found one of Jennifer's shoes, a fit-flop, out in the grass nearby.
Okay.
And then maybe 60 feet away from where the car was initially found, right on the road itself.
What did they find there?
A cigarette butt with blood on it and a necklace charm.
Interesting. Away from the car.
Very interesting. All sent off for forensic testing, of course.
Now let's look at the timing that night. It gets suspicious.
Certainly. So around 9:05 p.m., Officer Passmore, the second officer, tries to radio Officer Blue.
No answer.
No answer. Radio silence. So, Passmore gets concerned. Around 10:30 p.m., he decides to drive over to a spot Blue apparently used sometimes, sort of a known nap spot.
And where was the spot?
The exact same dead-end road where Jennifer's car was.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. And sure enough, Passmore finds Officer Blue there with Jennifer's car.
What does Blue say?
Blue claims he just found the suspicious vehicle, just stumbled upon it.
But Passmore noticed something about Blue's condition.
He did. He noted that Officer Blue was sweating. A lot. And breathing really heavily, like he'd been exerting himself.
Okay. And then there are the phone records.
Yes. They show calls between Jennifer and Officer Blue earlier that evening.
So Blue gets questioned by the state police. How does that go?
Starts off casual. Blue recounts finding the car, parked weirdly, door ajar.
Does he admit to checking for vital signs?
No.
Yeah.
He says he didn't, claimed she obviously looked deceased.
And his story about knowing Jennifer, it changes, right?
It does. Initially, it's like, barely knew her.
Yep.
Then it shifts to, oh yeah, known her 10 years. But he strongly denies any sexual relationship.
And why didn't he recognize her immediately at the scene?
His explanation was her hairstyle was different, and he was in cop mode, focused.
He keeps denying he's the father.
Yeah.
Denying the relationship.
Absolutely. Flat out denial of being the father, denial of any sexual contact at all.
But the investigators notice things about him, physically.
Yes. They see injuries. A bruise under his right eye, scratches on his arms, his head, and a bandage on his right index finger.
What do you say about those?
The bruise, just playing with his dog. The other stuff kind of brushed off. But crucially, another officer who saw Blue earlier that night said he didn't have those injuries then.
So the injuries appeared sometime that evening?
It certainly looked that way. And when the investigators press him about these inconsistencies, the injuries,
Does he react?
he gets sarcastic. Makes a comment like, oh, I guess I look like a suspect now, huh?
But eventually,
Eventually he cracks. He admits it. Yes, he had slept with Jennifer.
Okay. But the biggest turning point is the medical examiner's report.
Absolutely. This blows the suicide theory out of the water. Dr. DeJong rules Jennifer's death a homicide.
Why? What did she find?
Several things. The position of the body in the car, the way the cord was tied, it just wasn't consistent with someone hanging themselves in that manner.
And injuries.
Multiple bruises on her hands, arms, chest, neck, face, signs of a struggle. And critically, the ligature marks on her neck from that electrical cord.
Yes.
They happened after she was already dead, post-mortem.
So the hanging was staged.
Exactly. It was staged to look like a suicide after she was already dead.
So how did she die?
Asphyxiation, strangulation. But specifically, the findings were consistent with a chokehold.
A chokehold, which is significant.
Very significant given that Kenneth Blue is a trained police officer. That's a technique they learn.
The forensic evidence starts piling up now, linking Blue directly.
It really does. Remember that latex glove piece found tucked in Jennifer's clothing?
Yes.
DNA analysis. Inside the glove piece, Officer Blue's DNA. On the outside, Jennifer's blood, a smear of it, and also Jennifer's saliva.
Saliva? How?
The conclusion was inescapable. Jennifer bit his finger through the glove during the attack.
Which matches the bandage on his finger they saw during questioning.
Precisely. A direct link.
And his blood. Was it found anywhere else?
Everywhere. His blood was on the electrical cord used in the staging, on the roof rack of the car, on Jennifer's clothes, on the steering wheel of her car.
And his own uniform.
Yes. They found his police uniform hidden under the seat of his patrol car. And it had Jennifer's blood and his own blood on it.
Fingerprints.
His prints were found inside Jennifer's car, including a partial print that matched his injured right index finger, the one he had the bandage on.
Okay, back to those items found 60 feet away. The cigarette butt and the charm.
Right. The cigarette butt, Officer Blue's DNA on it, and his blood on it too.
His blood on the cigarette.
Yes. And the necklace charm found near it, that had Jennifer's DNA.
So what does that suggest? 60 feet away from the car.
It strongly suggests the actual attack, the murder itself, didn't happen in the car. It happened out on that road, about 60 feet away.
So the likely scenario
is that Blue somehow lured Jennifer out of her car to that spot. He attacked her, strangled her using a chokehold. She fought back desperately.
Leaving behind the evidence. Biting his finger, getting his blood on things, maybe dislodging her necklace charm in the struggle.
Exactly. She fought for her life and left the clues. Then he moved her body back to her call.
Staged the hanging with the electrical cord.
Right. They even found similar electrical wire at Blue's home, and evidence that a piece had recently been cut, matching the length used at the scene.
Wow. premeditated.
It certainly looks that way.
And that suicide note, the typed one,
Forensic analysis found only one person's fingerprints on it.
let me guess, Kenneth Blue.
Kenneth Blue, indicating he likely handled it, probably printed it before the murder as part of the plan, planted it in her wallet afterwards.
It's just meticulous and cold.
Chillingly so.
So, the trial.
Kenneth Blue was found guilty on all counts. Premeditated murder of Jennifer Webb, and importantly, also guilty in the death of her unborn child, Braxton.
The sentence.
Life in prison. No possibility of parole.
One of the forensic experts, Dr. Grabowski, he had some thoughts afterwards, didn't he?
He did. He really felt that Jennifer, in her final moments, fighting back. She essentially helped solve her own murder by leaving that crucial evidence.
That bite, the DNA.
Yes. He also mentioned how deeply the autopsy of baby Braxton affected him. Just heartbreaking.
And Jennifer's mother, Joan.
She spoke about justice, praising the good police officers, the state police investigators who worked so hard to uncover the truth and bring her daughter's killer to justice.
It's such a disturbing case. The fact that it was a police officer,
Yeah.
someone meant to protect.
It's a profound betrayal of trust and the loss. Jennifer, so close to motherhood, and her unborn son Braxton, just devastating.
A truly tragic end, but at least there was accountability.
Yes, justice was served in the end, though it can never undo the loss.
Thank you for walking us through this incredibly difficult story.
It's an important one to remember.
Indeed. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for listening.
Until next time.
If this story resonated with you, you want to hear more explorations into these kinds of cases, please do like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We appreciate your support.